Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Come to you live from our comfy couch here on the Ask Us Internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for April 17th, 2022, with your host, Spaceworker2448 and Rampant Epsilon.
Hola.
It's a short-ish week. I'm not sure how to describe the notes I ended up taking for these episodes, because I'm like, these episodes feel shorter than they should be? I guess. I don't know. But it is 41 through 44, folks. How'd you feel about them going in?
Kind of just on the meh, honestly. I feel like it is one of those I'm kind of about to the point where I'm ready for us to be done, which is good because we are getting close to that.
I mean, we have literally one batch of 5 episodes and we're done.
That's one of those, it's like, yeah.
We are quite literally almost done.
I mean, it's definitely not a bad meh.
But first, did you watch Revice for this week?
Yes.
Okay. I ended up just skipping last week and just went straight to this week's episode. So I was like, okay, I got the gist of last week's episode. I'm moving on. I'll just watch this week's episode. It's fine. But I guess we now explain the whole photo thing, which... Is it weird that Iki's memory loss is having a physical effect?
Yep.
Like, I'm not sure how that works.
The only thing that I can think of with that is only way to effectively make him not remember the stuff if it was a case of he didn't do this.
Fair.
So I think there's more to it than just his memory.
Right.
And I have a funny feeling that or other thing that I'm full on expecting. He's going to lose all of his memory the same week that our final form happens.
Yeah.
Which will reverse that.
I'm kind of expecting that too.
It's one of those. I was like, wait a minute, we still got. Oh yeah, there's one more form at least. Okay.
Yeah.
I see where
Even though
this is going.
Even though this form that we have right now is officially Kamen Rider Revice, because I double-checked the Soto listing since the Soto lists what each of the forms are. This is just straight-up Kamen Rider Revice.
Because that's not confusing at all.
Yeah, because I was also expecting that to be the final form, but it's not. It's the one before. And according to like the leaks and stuff we got, we are getting 2 different Vice stamps, which means Icky and Vice are transforming separately? Potentially?
I mean, to be fair, that makes sense.
Right, but I'm like, okay, so George is just gonna make a second Revice driver and just toss it to Vice being like, here, transform, you too.
I mean, it makes sense, to be fair. Because, I mean, that was kind of the whole thing that has led up through Thundergale, so... It's one of those that full-on would be the next step I could see.
Also, I like that I hear complaints about George doing his face turn, and then this episode just with the slight tease of take the driver, take the power, become evil once more. Like, yeah. It may not last forever, but also, like, what do you expect? He's the Dan of the show. They can't kill him. They can't fully turn him heel until we get to the V-Cinemas and stuff, and then, yes, we can turn him heel, because then we can probably kill him. At least temporarily.
Probably. Probably.
I say it's not likely, to be honest, if he ends up like Dan, because fucking Dan refuses to die.
If he ends up like Dan, yeah, he won't die.
Motherfucker is now a human gear.
If he is only to the point of like the Matsubo Genride crew, then yeah, full on death could be possible. Because, you know, we've not done that before or nothing.
Yeah. I just want Aguilera to make the face turn and become full good guy, because I don't know, it feels like a good trajectory for her character to actually get out of the toxic mindset she's in with Gifu and this whole Dead Man organization and actually become her own person. Granted, that could also make her become a bad guy eventually, but you know what? At least as long as it's that trajectory and not, I need Gifu in my life because it's the only thing that makes my life matter. Like, no. No, please. You can be better than this, Aguilera. But it looks like we're getting something with that next week. Because it looks like, yeah, maybe. What else? Honestly, not a whole lot besides, oh look, we had the shithead appear in person as himself. Yay! At least he turned out to be the villain for the week, so it means he gets to disappear for the rest of the show. Good. Fuck him. Do not appear in person in the show, please, ever again. I know that's incredibly mean, but yeah. There's honestly not much else because, yeah, because there's no rumors or anything for the Final Form and stuff, so we're kind of just waiting on that. I did skim through the Raw for the Genham's President special with Genham and Guy. Do you want to see Guy gets his ass handed to him again? Even though he's got the Erg's power behind him? Because that's the special. Dan's like, hey, I'm gonna make a new gas out of nowhere, and it pretty much gives me Buteki and pause, mind you. It gives him fucking pause somehow.
I mean, it's Dan.
I know, but he just gets to kick guys' ass. Also, they teased a new rider, but I don't know if the special has a part 2, so I don't know where it's going. It might just go nowhere. Are you also checking out the Veil specials, or are you just skipping those?
I've just been skipping for right now.
Okay. They've been good, but it's all backstory for Veil and the dad, who are, well, the dad is Sir not appearing in the show at the moment, whereas Veil's like, hey, I'm in the red repaint of Vice's suit.
Yeah.
That I think is all CG because they only have the one Vice suit. I think.
And apparently when he's in this form, he can only be seen by our almost final villain.
Apollo Guys, man. Yeah. I guess that means Bale is his demon? Question mark?
Maybe? Like that's the part where I'm like, but no. That doesn't work with what we were told already.
Right. At least I think. Anywho, shall we get into Kuuga then for the week?
I guess so.
Alright, we're gonna kick off this week with episode 41, Control. So, Godai goes rising Pegasus to fight our water Gronki. But the presence of Zeba distracts him long enough to get fucking harpooned in the shoulder and thrown into a pillar and like just stuck there for a good like solid 5 minutes.
Yeah,
as Godai
he
tries
full on gets skewered to the pillar.
Yeah, it's fairly brutal as Godai's having the struggle of pulling the spear back through the pillar to get it off. Because it's too long for him to get off, and since it's through his one shoulder, he can't get at it to really break it off because he's in Pegasus. It's not the strong form. Plus, I'm pretty sure he can't break anything with his hands like that. At least I don't think.
That's a good question.
I don't think he's strong enough to actually break that spear, especially since it is fucking just this big ass spear embedded in his shoulder at the moment. It looks very painful.
I mean, regardless, I don't think he could at that point, kind of deal.
Yeah, so he manages to push off, get it off. He gets to the ground. He's already in growing and proceeds to de-transform from there as Ichijo shows up. Once he's there, we see that Godai is healed up enough to not be in miserable pain. So I guess it's been a few minutes. But Ichijo and Sakita just show up to pretty much deliver the info about the plane attack. Essentially, the Grongi got on a plane, wait till it got in the air, killed a bunch of people with her spear, went to the pilot, I guess knocked on the door and said, hi, here's the message you need to deliver to the police, bye, and then bailed. So she pretty much told him, it's like, I'm gonna kill this many more people. I don't remember the exact number. Stop me if you can.
I think that's where you're slightly wrong. She didn't say she was going to kill that many more people. She said she was going to kill a set amount of people to begin.
Right.
They find out later how many more, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the second set of numbers, but the warning on the internet board is the second set of numbers.
Yep.
And those two add to this number she just gave them. Right. Mixing up her calling cards. But that's all they have to go on to figure out where she's going to attack next. Meanwhile, we check in with Nana as we find out that she is very upset about the audition she went to. And she wants to throw some hands at someone. And she's more or less trying to talk to someone so they can talk her out of it because she doesn't want to throw hands, but she really wants to throw hands. And the reason we'll find out later, fairly valid, I would say, of why she should throw some hands at this girl at the audition. Because damn, that's a fucked up thing to say considering the context of this series.
Yeah.
But Godai calls to check in and she ends up running off, so Godai's gonna go find her because Ari probably told him at least as much as he knew. We check in with the Grongi here. She's talking to Rose. We find out she's pretty much going easy because she wants to save up her stuff for the final round against Zeba. So she's just killing, as we find out, I think on the plane, it's old people. It's a bunch of old people on the plane, and then the boat has a bunch of kids. Which, damn. No wonder Godai's a bit pissed by the end of the episode. Half of this boat's half filled with kids. Lost my place in my notes because I tried to scroll down and it skipped everything. We see Sartar and Nikita just talk about Zeba and Batman, about the whole fight they had. We'll find out later that Batman's getting autopsied by Tsubaki. We then check in with the police. They're trying to figure out what's going on when the dispatch lady, I keep forgetting her name, even though she's fairly important in the show, and she got a haircut a couple episodes ago. It's not important, but she got a haircut and has like a new hairstyle. And almost looks like a different person because of it. But she ends up stumbling across the message boards and finds the calling card for the first attack, and now has to find one for the second attack. It says that she's going to attack a sun floating on the water, and the amount of people that adds up to the total number we have. Which, there's a weird math thing that I am not about to go check. We'll talk about later when it comes to the novel. Because it involves numbers like this. So the police are looking for that. Meanwhile, we catch up with Godai as he finds Nana, talks to her. We find out that at the audition, the last scene that they were going to audition with was going to be the person auditioning was going to be in a scene where a Gronki kills a person in front of them. And the other person at the audition with Nana decided to make the comment of, this has happened to you. I'm sure that makes for good experience. And, why the fuck did you say that, love? You should have got smacked in the face right the fuck there. Mm-hmm. Being honest. Because, what's our body count?
And I love the fact that later, when this is actually told to Godai, you can tell even his character's like, I totally would have. I would have let you on that one, but I'm supposed to say no, don't do that.
Look, there are times where you are allowed to throw hands. This might be one of them. But at least attempt to talk first. Talk to them first. If they are still dicks, then slap the shit out of them because they fucking deserve it. Because, what is our body count in this show by now? I'm pretty sure we're in the 5 to 6 digits of just people killed by the Gronki.
That we know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because bear in mind, we have skipped Yulaf numbers throughout the course of this series. God knows how many people have died to those specific Grongi. Besides, like, the ones we do have confirmed body counts for, because I'm pretty sure we're in the 6 digits.
Because we've kind of been in each Grongi aiming for triple digits for a while now.
Yeah.
So...
And some of our previous ones have definitely reached triple digits on their own. So, yeah, no, don't fucking say that. You are probably the 1 in 10 people who has not had that happen to them in this show so far. Congratulations, you are fucking lucky. Everyone else, not so much. But yeah, this like royally pisses her off, and she wants to throw some hands, and Godai's like, all right, calm down. Sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you want to talk first, because like when you start throwing hands, it might just escalate, and like you don't want to escalate, this shit. It's not good, because Godai's all about like not wanting to throw hands unless he wants to. It's kind of been his thing the whole show. So he's at least trying to impart that of, do try option A before option B has to be chosen. But before he can talk to her more, he gets called away because they found the boat. So he has to head out. He ends up getting a ride from Gorham to get on the boat and drops him off mid operation, because it's out in the middle of I wouldn't say it's out in the middle of the ocean, because you can still see mainland from it, but it's out far enough that I'm sure they're in deep water. But as Godai is fighting Gronki, Nana confronts the girl. We see her like ball her fist, but we don't see anything else. But we do see Godai go Rising Titan and show that he can wield a second sword in Rising Titan, at least. I don't know if he can do that in regular Titan.
Probably not.
Yeah. But the Gronki's power like backfires for a second, so that gives Godai the opening. He does big slash, stabs the swords in, tosses both of them overboard. That way the explosion doesn't happen on the ship and fuck up the ship. Meanwhile, Ichijo and the Coast Guard are like en route. And as the explosion happens and the Gronki's killed, they end up picking up Godai in the sea. But we go to Popo later with Godai. He checks in with Nana. She just flashes him the thumbs up, and that's all we get told about it. So I like the headcanon that she was still a shithead and got slapped for her troubles. I'm assuming the thumbs up stuff is like, no, she talked it out with her and this, that, and the other. But I'm like, she deserved to get slapped still. And get a talking to. But we end the episode proper with Zeba confronting our weapon maker friend. That's been popping up for like several different episodes, and so we don't see much more until, I believe, the end of the next episode. Unless I missed that scene, it would not surprise me. I might have missed that scene. I think I missed it. Because I believe it's in the next episode we see that that guy gets fucking dismembered. Zeba just murders this man and dismembers him. So, no more weapons for anyone. But that takes us to episode 42, Battlefield. We kick off mid-pursuit of a Grongi that has been blocking people, or like cornering people in secluded areas en masse and just murdering all of them. They've been trying to corner this guy, I guess, for a while, but it's not been working. And we just now see that their new fancy rifles that they've got and bullets aren't going to work. They're not penetrating. And we end up following Ichijo kind of like as the fight is happening, as the Grongi's getting away and Godai is in pursuit of him. But we catch up with Godai as he starts to fight this guy. Tries to fight him. This guy form changes, gets a hammer form, and just starts denting Godai's armor. Like, he's in Mighty. It gets dented, and you see blood splatter off the hit, meaning it penetrated all the way through. Godai goes Titan, and then we see the Titan armor dented like 3 times over, which shows you how strong this hammer is. So Godai's on the ropes until Ichijo shows up with the new rifle and bullets, manages to trank the Grongi, so Godai can move him with Gorum. We also spot Mika at a train station because she's off to a musical competition that will be important later in the episode. So we follow Galen into the location. He decides to go Rising with Gorum, and we see, I guess, the one and only appearance of Rising beat Gorum. I thought this appeared more. This feels like the only appearance we're getting of this bike mode.
Probably.
Which makes me sad, because I like Rising beat Gorum. I like the little extra bits they added. Because it's just like the front piece and then like 2 pieces on the tailpipes. But he rams him, gets the clip in, Grongi goes boom, day is saved! By the way, this is a 2-parter. We only have like 1 Grongi left to fight. So, I'll be honest, it feels like we were stalling. For some reason, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I think that's what's kind of just got me into
Yeah.
Because it feels like we had pretty decent progression and might have had just a few too many episodes.
Which seems to be the trend with Rider. It just feels like if we had just a few less episodes and we tightened up the show, we'd be fine.
Yeah, more often than not.
But for the rest of the episode, we follow up with Tsubaki first, as he discovers something in Batman's body, as Akina shows up. This leads to Mika calling into Pol saying, hey, I can't make it to Pol to drop by and say hi. Trains are learning eggs, so I gotta go to my competition. We also see some random schmuck is also going to this competition because he has a beef with some CEO, president person of some company I forgot the name of, because it's not fucking important at all. He's got a beef with him. That's the only important part. But then we sit in with a meeting with everyone, well, all our main people. We find out, well, confirm at least, that Batman had an Amadeum in him, which explains why the Grongi have all the form changes and whatnot that Godai is capable of. Which you can probably work backwards and go, they stole an Amadeum or a couple Amadeums off some Grongi and put it in a belt in the Gorum and made the belt and stuff. At least presumably. We never get confirmation that that's the case, but all evidence says that that's what happened. But everyone's still concerned about the whole Ultimate Darkness thing with Godai. But Godai's like, it'll be fine. I just have to not be mad and angry at someone I'm trying to fight. Which, I mean, honestly, what can any of them really do for this kind of situation? It's pretty much on Godai to keep his cool.
Yeah.
And the best way he can show them that he's keeping his cool is to keep his fucking cool in the show and act like everything's normal, even though we've seen in fight scenes and stuff, it's not. He's struggling. He's struggling real hard with that instinct. But, like, I don't know how else you can do this because, like, what are the rest of them going to do? Tell him no? Tell him, don't worry, it's going to be okay? That's not helpful when he has to go fight someone. And most of you will not be there because it would be a bad thing if you all were there. Most of you probably don't know how to handle a gun. But afterwards, we see Ichijo head to the competition, but Godai is having to stop by the school first. And then we see the guy from before. He's got a gun on him. He's heading into the convention center or whatever it is. There's competition happening, and he's running up to Mika as the episode ends to give us tension because we need something for this. So yeah. How'd you feel about our first pair?
I feel like it's that stalling.
Yeah.
That we really need to show final fights, but oh wait, we can't yet. We have episode count.
Oops, we decided not to do a two-parter with the second of 3 Grongies we had left over. We now have an episode and a half left. Fuck, what do we fill this with?
Yeah.
We only have the budget for exactly 1 fight scene and one finisher. Well, I guess we're gonna try something else this late in the show. Yeah, it's fine, but it's definitely that point, and I feel like it's the real first time in the show I felt like, yeah, the show has stalled out. It's the momentum the show had. It's kind of like it lost a bit of it as it tried to just get to the next episode, because that's what this feels like. It's just we need to get to the next episode. Just do stuff until then. It doesn't matter what, just get there. Anything else before we hit the second half?
Huh?
All right, then. Episode 43, Reality. We see that the guy is just trying to hand Mika back her little shell necklace because she dropped it at some point nearby. We didn't see her drop it, by the way. Like, the same scene she's showing up to this convention center is the same scene this guy's walking up on her, so fucking I don't know. But he does that and then just heads inside. We didn't do check-ins with Godai and Ichijo's. They were kind of heading there. Ichijo's picking up some flowers to hand her because it's the thing you do. Godai's entertaining the kids because I'm blanking on her name. Why am I blanking on Godai's sister's name?
Because
Minori. Because Minori's coworker is on maternity leave because she gave birth. So she's off having her kid and or spending the first few weeks or so with the kid. So they didn't specify if the kid was born yet. We also check in with Akita as she heads into the lab with Saotari and John. And we see that the Gorem is back in one piece, but it's discolored. It's kind of like its original colors when it was kind of a relic, except not quite. It's more muted. So I guess it's drained from doing the rising stuff. So Gorem will soon not be appearing in the next couple episodes, I guess. Then we see the guy kidnaps the CEO as Ichijo's picking up his flowers. Godai's entertaining the kids. Ichijo ends up arriving at the convention center. He sees a bunch of cops just running about and stuff, says hi to one of them that he knows. We find out, and he finds out from them that, oh, this big CEO person's missing. We're trying to find him. And Ichijo's like, I'm here to help. I'll help. And he's like, nah, don't worry, it's fine. And once more, they fucking make a joke about him not having a girlfriend. Which, by the way, continues into the novel and has implications in the novel. Because of the novel. We'll talk about it once we're done with these pair of episodes. But, so, Ichijo's kind of on standby for now. The guy ends up taking the CEO to the roof. But we follow Ichijo and Mika for a bit. They have a cute little conversation just about food and stuff. And I think it's the first time we've seen Ichijo just relax in this show. So it was cute seeing the two of them talk. But our last Grongi puts in for the game. But then he decides that he's not going to take the unlock power thing from Rose. He's going to take after Godai, which is a bad thing. We'll find out later. Oh boy. Also, it's not confirmed until the next episode, but his target is going to be the police. All of his targets are going to be the police. So we check in with Ichigo. He sees the cops heading to the roof, so he follows after. And then we check in with Godai as he's like en route, but then he gets distracted by like Zeba being in range, and he kind of senses him. He tries to follow up after him, and when he tries to go to Pegasus to find him, he just gets overwhelmed by Zeba's aura, I guess, and it's just like, oh god, oh no, the pain. I made a mistake. So Godai's delayed for a while. We see Mika play as the cops try to like bring this guy in, but one of the cops gets shot in the leg, and our guy just dumps the CEO, heads down some stairs. Ichigo gives chase. They make it out front as Ichigo catches up. He tries to take some random woman hostage, but Ichigo just kind of like lines up a shot at him and manages to shoot the gun out of his hand and then tackles him to the ground. But as this is all happening, Mika's been out front and sees all this and is fairly shocked that the guy she was having a casual conversation with just shot a man's gun out of his hand and then tackled him to the ground. So a little bit traumatizing, I would say. But then Godai shows up, talks to her for a little bit, tries to comfort her, but I don't think it hits home that well. So we kind of just end the episode there, kind of awkwardly. Which takes us to our last episode, 44, Crisis. Godai and Ichigo are out for a run. And we also check in with Akita that she's late to a meeting that Godai and Ichigo are going to be at. She's bringing in the new guns and bullets, because we just had new guns and bullets. Now we have newer guns and bullets. I guess it's because these are tracking bullets. She also gets called by her grandma, and is just like, yeah, you need to show up for this parent-teacher conference. Don't be late. And she's like, I know, I won't be late. And then we see this meeting, and it pretty much just touches on our remaining Grongi, Rose, the one guy that we have left, Zeba, just kind of like gives us an idea of the status quo at the moment. Our final Grongi properly goes in, now that he's got his power up, and Zeba just like talks to him real quick, be like, I'm waiting for you, bye, and just leaves. Because that's all Zeba does these episodes, is just show up and leave. We also find out from Saotari that she's kind of like at a dead end on her research, because there's not much else she can offer, because we're at everything the Lento figured out about the powers of Kuuga. We've got nothing else on the table. But after this whole meeting, Inkita leaves to go to her parent-teacher conference. Godai drops by. Three of him, Saotari, and Jean talk about the business cards that Godai has, because they all kind of are time-stamped by the number of skills he's learned. So Saotari's has less skills on it than Jean's, which is kind of nice. But we also find out that Godai's thinking of getting shocked by Tsubaki because he needs a power-up. And,
because thanks, John.
Yeah, thanks, John, for the idea. They are, of course, against this, because maybe you don't need to get shocked by a defib. You don't need to get shocked by a defib, but we're not going to have much of a choice going forward, being honest. Because we catch up with the Gronki. He arrives at a local police station, changes, starts his attack, and we see his sword change form with the same sparking effect that Godai has for his rising forms. Meaning this Grongi figured out how Godai got his fancy rising forms and then went and got his own by going to take an electrical shock to the face. Fuck. And this Grongi already can kick Godai's ass. That's a no good. But Godai gets called in. He's en route to scene. Kita also gets called in, is en route to scene with the guns and bullets because she just can't assign someone else to go deliver them. She has to go deliver them herself. It's the weird thing where I'm like, you could have someone else deliver these. You've had someone else deliver your stuff.
Yep.
But we see it's a slaughter at the first police station as the Gronki moves to an abandoned factory where more cops are trying to stop him. And Godai shows up, Ghost Pegasus tries to shoot him, and we end the episode there. So how'd you feel about this back half?
I feel like they're trying to do something to set up the end. Question is, does it pay off?
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like, I actually feel like this one might be trying to set something up, but now that we're out of crap, we gotta fill the gap moment.
Yeah, that is our episodes for the week. They're fine. And I guess I can tell you about the novel, mostly, I guess. So for those that don't know, a few years back, they started this initiative of producing novels for all the different Heisei Rider shows. At that point, only one novel had ever been made for a Heisei Rider show, and that was Vice. And it was made back close to when the show was airing. So it got reprinted amongst these other novels, and other novels got made along with this. Most of these are written by their original writers. This one is written by Naruhisha Arakawa, who was the main writer on Kuuga. So this novel, is I guess a part of Kuuga canon. The thing is, I don't know how canon the novels are at this point, because some of them, like this one, are actually post-series. This novel is actually 13 years after the end of the series, because it was 13 years after the end of Kuuga when this novel came out. Others are like retellings of the show. Others are just completely alternate takes. So, But, I guess I can tell you about most of this that isn't connected to the ending. So, the novel is entirely told by Ichijo's perspective. He's intending a wedding of two of our supporting cast members. Would you care to guess which ones?
Which one?
Sakurai, the third cop guy. You know, the one that isn't Tsubaki, that shows up and has lines. And Nozomi, the dispatch lady. They got married. And Sakurai is apparently, like, he's still a detective and stuff. But Nozomi is, like, head of a female, like, bike cop division that also, like, has, like, an upgraded Beat Chaser 3000 that they run. So, like, she's went places since the end of the series. And, like, I believe it's an all-female, like, bike cop division. So, like, damn. But Godai's invited to his wedding, but he's not appearing because events of the finale that we'll talk about next week. So we just follow Ichijo. Part of the novel is really just kind of like checking in with some other characters. So Saratari is continuing her research at university, and she's a teacher there now. Kazari is still running Pol Pol. Minori got married to a pro wrestling chiropractor. It's what the novel says. Which I will mention real quick, how you can read this novel. Let me get his, their name real quick. All of these novels are getting translated by Revolution Potato. You can find them on Patreon, because they do a little Patreon. It's only like $1 to $5 a month to help them like get the novels out faster. They're currently just completed the Blade novel, and they're moving on to the prologue and epilogue of the Kabuto novel, because the Kabuto one is just kind of a retelling of the series, and the Hibiki one is set in the Seven Oni period of the movie, so it's set like back in time. So a really fun one to translate, because you're dealing with older Japanese language, not a newer Japanese language. Yay! But they've been doing the novels in order. The first one they did was the Kuuga novel. And they did this like years ago. Let's see, Tsubaki is still doing his stuff. Except, you know how he's driving a fancy car that apparently was a Corvette? Because I didn't notice that part in an episode before. He's now driving a Fiat because he's trying to act like Lupin the Third. For some reason. And they name dropped Lupin, like some Lupin the Third movie. Or they reference some Lupin the Third movie that he's trying to act like. Let's see. Nana is a successful actress. She doesn't appear in the novel, but we do find out that she's successful. So she got her break. Akita's still doing her research. Jean is overseas doing research as well. I'm going to skip Mika for a second because she's actually important to this novel. Ichijo's boss is retired. Sugita's still a cop. Yeah, that's his boss. I don't think anyone else from the cast, the supporting cast, got mentioned. That was kind of reoccurring. But here's the thing with Mika. So, early in the novel, Sugita shows Ichijo this kind of like weird case of some big CEO guy who got murdered and his abdomen got carved out. And before then, a bunch of people that were kind of related to him died mysteriously. And there's also been this weird outbreak of mosquito bites that have killed people, or presumes mosquito bites that have killed people. So Sugita thinks that there's a Grongi in play. And as we come to find out that there's actually 3 Grongi in play. So Sugita recruits Ichijo onto kind of like a small little task force to try to investigate this. And Ichijo gets a partner from his old precinct. Guess who that partner is?
Is it the one guy that now no longer means anything?
Nope.
Oh.
It's Mika. She went and became a cop.
Huh.
And she made detective in 13 years.
Huh.
So, yeah. That's the thing that I keep seeing not get mentioned about this novel is that, no, Mika's a cop. She's not some random civilian in this novel now. No, she is a cop. She's a damn good cop because she's the one, like, following up leads and stuff and, like, digging hard into, like, into evidence and stuff to try to pull a lead. Like, she's busting her ass this entire novel. But, Mika shows up. She's Ichijo's partner for, like, the entire novel as they investigate this case. They end up finding out that this big idol person, this big idol chick, is most likely a Grongi because a bunch of these people that have been getting mosquito bites were fans of hers. Shook hands with her, and she most likely put something in them that ended up killing them. So they try to go intercept her at a showing she's doing, or a big performance she's doing, because that's where she's going to kill a bunch of people, as they found out. And it's kind of an odd number. And that's because apparently Grongi operate on a base 9 number system, as the novel says. So all of these random numbers we've been getting, if you convert them to base 9, I guess they round out to a whole number. Because that's a plot point in the novel. Apparently the abacus told us that, but I didn't know an abacus was base 9. So yeah, they go to drag.
I'm just trying to process that one.
Yeah, I did too when I read it. I'm just like, wait, what? But why? That's unnecessary. I am not gonna go fact check every single fucking number we've been given of the series of a Grongi's body count to find out if it's somehow a whole number in base 9. No, I'm not doing that homework. I don't care, show. But anyway, they go to try to intercept her at the performance. Mika ends up confronting the idol in her dressing room because she kind of like disguises herself as some backstage person to sneak into her dressing room to talk to her. The idol pretty much confirms like, oh yeah, no, I'm not Grongi, and I've been impersonating this person for a long time, as we find out, because this person had a mom. And we find out that the Grongi killed the daughter because the daughter was like a hooligan, essentially. And it kind of broke the mom to the point that she just believed that this Grongi was her daughter when it impersonated her. And when the Grongi dies in this novel, it breaks her further to the point that she goes home and digs up the body of her daughter and finds the skull. It's a real fucked up scene. Like, real fucked up. Just slammed into the middle of this. But yeah, the Grongi ends up dying. But the Grongi dies to a growing form Kuuga that has been hinted at throughout the novel and shows up in this fight. And Ichijo sees this, but he only gets to see it for like a hot second before he takes a piece of rubble to the back of the head because the building they're in is kind of collapsing because of the fight. And when he wakes up a few days later, he meets with Mika. He updates him on the case, but they find out that it's all getting swept under the rug by this like part of the government that doesn't want like a big scare about the Grongi coming back. But guess who impersonated a big government official? Our final Grongi of the book. He apparently impersonated him, and got a bill passed to get this energy drink certified that has a thing in it that allows him, if you drink it enough times, to be able to mind break you through psychic powers. And he's going to mind break 1.6 million people as his game. Because the Rose Grongi is also in this novel. And she's still running the game. Because apparently these three Grongi were buried in a different site from the rest of the Grongi, because there's also a coffin of light as opposed to the coffin of darkness we have in the show, and there's a different article in that one. So our team finds that out, and they try to go to stop this guy, or they try to figure out how to go stop him, and they're prepping for it, but they find out that he's going to fly out to Brazil like the next day, thus removing him away from our team. So they can't stop him before he just snaps his fingers and kills 1.6 million people. So they move that night. They try to move in that night, and Mika goes to talk to Ichijo about this, and she's like freaked out and stuff. But eventually he's like, "I'm gonna go take care of this," and that's when Ichijo figures out that this growing form Kuuga we've been seeing the whole time is not Godai. It's Mika, because she found some extra notes of her father's, went to this new tomb site, stole the prototype Arkle that was within it, and has been Kuuga the entire novel. Here's the downside to that. This Arkle does not have an Abadam in it. So guess what she's real susceptible to?
Huh.
She's susceptible to the ultimate darkness thing that we've been talking about this for the last part of the show. Guess what? She ends up going at the end of this novel to go fight the Grongi that just wrecks her. She just straight goes to ultimate form. And her eyes are flickering between like the red and black, or red eyes and black eyes to show if she's in control or not. So she ends up fighting this Grongi. Ends up going this ultimate form, starts mass shifting the building they're in into a bunch of cannons to fire energy at this guy to fuck him up. She mass shifts the building into a bunch of cannons. Damn. I did not know ultimate form is capable of that, but holy shit. Holy shit. But Ichijo tries to talk her down because if she does this, it's going to kill a bunch of the people that are still in the building, mind you. Because it's only mass shifted part of the building, but still, she's going to send a whole bunch of energy through it that will kill people. And that's when Godai shows up. And he ends up talking her down to like keep her from doing something she's going to regret. And he ends up taking over the fight. He goes and fights the Grongi. He struggles for it, but he ends up fighting it enough that Ichijo, with a big old sniper rifle, actually just blows the Grongi in half with it. Godai doesn't even kill the final Grongi. Ichijo does, with a big fuck-off sniper rifle bullet.
Well done.
Yeah. And the novel ends with Ichijo and Godai just not wanting to see each other because stuff will get with the ending, but they do end up seeing each other. And the novel ends with Godai just kind of walking away from Ichijo. We don't check back in with Mika at the end of the novel. Godai just kind of walks away from Ichijo, and that's it. So we've got Mika with a prototype article as more or less proto-Kuuga and the now secondary writer to Godai, and we don't really follow up on it at all in the 5 chapters of this novel. Which, that makes it sound shorter than it is, but it's still, they're beefy chapters, but it's still like 5 chapters. So yeah, that is the Kuuga novel. What do you think?
Sounds kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah, it feels like one of the more interesting novels. I do know some of the others are less interesting, if I'm being honest. The Decade one is incredibly not interesting because would you like Narutoki to be a vampire? Just a vampire, not any specific monster from a series. No, just straight up a vampire, amongst other things in that novel. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good read. I just threw on the Kuuga soundtrack and just blazed through it in like early in the morning when I couldn't sleep. But yeah, it's on the short side. So if anyone wants to check it out, there's the Patreon. It's all linked in his description and stuff. So you can go give it a read yourself amongst the other novels that he's translating. I really am waiting for him to get to the double onward ones, because the double one is a missing pair of episodes from the show. That's where we get the Kamen Rider Cyclone, as opposed to Kamen Rider Joker, that we've gotten figures of and stuff. And the Fourze one gives us a proper Dark Rider for Fourze, and also features the reappearance of Nadeshiko. And the Wizard one has us finding out that no, Haruto and Koyomi didn't have a thing. Haruto always had a thing with Rinko, and then they have a daughter that is the reincarnation of Koyomi, because I'll be honest, sometimes the novels are bad. And sometimes the novels are nuts, because you have the guy in one where Tsukasa just shows up to give a morale speech, to give a speech to Michi to rally him for a fight. The novels are dumb, folks. The novels are real dumb. Hopefully I'll get to tell you about another one when we cover a series that's relevant. Anywho, anything else?
No.
Alright then, Wednesday, we get to finally properly start Metroid Prime 3. And you also get to see me tinker with controls as we do it, because I'm probably going to be tinkering with them a whole lot to try to fine tune it.
Fair.
Thursday, we are taking a look at Kamen Rider Agito and I forgot Super Iron Ball fight. Essentially, the Agito is a standard fighting game that we've had a whole bunch, and Super Iron Ball fight is Mega Man. It's the Mega Man. It's the Mega Rider. Saturday will be the podcast. We'll just talk shop on games. And next Sunday will be the final week of Kuuga, our final 5 episodes before we then move on to 01. I've actually heard a lot of people don't like 01 apparently.
Well, I kind of blame special.
Oh, this is the show in general, not just the end of the show in general.
I feel like it's good until the job battle. Then it kind of slows down. And then the whole, agree with the ending. I could maybe see the combination, but yeah. But I think if you look at it as what it is, it wasn't bad.
Yeah. I still like 01. I still like the cast of it. I don't like to be cinemas. I like real time. I choose to pick and I like to pick and choose my canon because they pick and choose their canon and what's canonical or not. So I'm allowed to because I'm just playing by your rules. So I get to disregard the V cinemas because fuck them.
I mean, fair.
But yeah, that is the rest of the next week for us. So, if you like what you're seeing, folks, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chip away the physical at TG's on Twitter. Get you updates of live. Next mention point, Discord and chat. Catch this one. Drop by, say hi. See you Wednesday, folks.